this is where the lady that you saw in the sculpture lived, in fact. She was, I'm talking about her largely because although she's relatively unknown to us, or if not completely unknown, she was recently voted the most influential and important French female artist ever, alongside, not after, Edith Piaf. So that's her level of fame and importance for the French. And she was a very, very touching figure in terms of her personality and her very, very sad story. I like this picture. The Egyptian garb is, this is her best of from the 1970s. She was an Italian-born woman who grew up in Cairo. Her father was the first violinist of the Opera of Cairo. Her real name was Yolanda Gigliotti. And she desperately wanted to be an actress. And so she starred in a number of very, very bad Egyptian films before she came to Paris at the age of 19, worked and sung in the cabarets in order to become famous, to be spotted, and she was spotted as a singer, and she became one of France's favourite singers ever. And because this is a perfect example of somebody who starts out in the entertainment industry and never wanted to leave Montmartre. She made it very, very, very famous, but she always refused record deals to the United States because she wanted to stay not just in Paris but Montmartre itself, and so she lived here. Her private life was astonishingly tragic, and this is unfortunately what she's better known for many people. She had her life was an absolute disaster with men. 4 of her lovers took their own life. 2 turned out already to be married, and then finally she fell pregnant by a 19-year-old Italian student when she was in her late 30s, early 40s, had to have an abortion, and then was left sterile while she'd still hoped that she might be able to have children. She fell into the most tragic depression, and after some time took her own life in the house here. This is where the plaque comes from. It was 1987. It was very controversial because she'd kind of staged the whole thing, did her hair up, kind of laid herself out in an Ophelia-like fashion with the great robes. But she left a message to her loved ones, specifically her brother Orlando, saying, "I'm sorry, life has become unbearable for me." At that time, France was completely moved. It was a bit like when Diana died in the UK, for example. I don't know what your equivalent would be, but enormously moved. And the people of Montmartre, that's to say, the people, the ordinary people who she spent time with in the cafes, she remained unpretentious. She supported independent radio and independent media. She was a bit like Julie Garland. She fought for gay rights very, very early on. And in order to show their appreciation, the poorer people of Montmartre put their money together to produce this plaque. Dalida lived in this house from 1962 to 1987. Her friends from Montmartre will never forget her, which is very, very touching.